This is a presentation on the first century letter from Paul to Philemon. A heartfelt note, and it's definitely more than meets the eye. What you see here in color-coded and lettered sections is the full text of the letter to Philemon. Obviously a very short letter. If you look at it in most English Bibles, it's one page. And it's 25 quote-unquote verses. Well, here is the text, unobstructed by those verse numbers and sectioned off the way it appears to have been conceived, whether consciously or not, we wouldn't know, but the sections clearly relate to one another. The point here is that the gray outer sections relate to one another in terms of involving personal names and greetings and expressions such as grace and the Lord Jesus Christ. And as you work inward, the sections relate to one another as well. B and B prime, C and C prime, D and D prime, and then the center of the letter is found in the E and E prime sections. The letter is really quite amazing. It's got a clear message on the surface on one level, but there's more, and these keywords suggest some of the underlying messages in some cases. And the letter is really built like a sandwich, if we wanted to think of it that way. Buns being the A sections, working all the way inward toward the very meat of the letter, those E sections. There are many textual clues in the original Greek text of the letter to Philemon. Not all of them come out in English translations, but if you will compare these to a reputable English translation, or if you're able, use a Greek English interlinear, you'll see that the aggregate effect of all these clues, and I will list 18 of them here, and there are more, the aggregate effect is a very clear evidence of an implicit or background request. If you're so inclined, please go back to the earlier part of this video presentation and compare to the English layout of the entire letter, the color-coded slide. And there are two more slides for these textual clues. On this slide, I would call attention particularly to number 9, the dual implications for what Philemon is to do contained in the prayer. And I would also call attention to number 11, the unusual structuring of the request, especially obvious in such a short letter when it takes so many verses to begin a request and then to end it several verses later. There's quite a lot of wordplay going on in the text of Philemon. It's clear that the name Onesimus is being used in a sort of pun, and there's another similar word used for benefit. Number 16 is quite interesting if you'll compare this usage of this emphatic affirmative to 2 Corinthians 1 in particular. You'll see how unusual it is. The potential meanings of the phrase refresh my heart include the simple, obvious meaning, revive me, as in Paul, and also, since Paul has called Onesimus his heart, the potential dual meaning is there. From Philemon, we learn many things, and I'm grateful to my dear friend Dr. Greg Fay for these wordings.